We're looking at the opener on a John Deere 50 series. This is actually 2 3/4 inch wide by 16 inches in diameter gauge wheel.
Once you've got sharp displays, as I've already discussed, the next part is obviously the gauge wheel. And obviously
Hello, my name's Benjamin Needham, and I'm standing beside the 60 series opener, which fits on 1560 box drills and 1860 air seeders. This unit is also similar to the 90 series unit. One of the main things wrong with this is the disc. Discs are new at 18 inches. This one's 15. It's worn so much that it is shorter than the seed boot, which does not cause good soil penetration. When installing new disc, place the straight side closest to the gauge wheel. Next, we're going to talk about the seed boot. This seed boot has a lot of wear in the seed boot mounting holes. This seed boot also has wear in the bolt and the cast housing, and we have a bushing kit that fixes that. Please visit our website at www.needhamag.com. And once the bottom of the boot starts to wear upward, as seen on this 50 series seed boot, it needs to be replaced. And in some cases, when it wears so much, it can wear into the disc hub. This is the 90 series seed boot. We like it better than the 60 series seed boot because it places seeds more uniformly. This is our vanilla seed tab. It's contoured to fit the shape of the seed slot, and it's also longer and doesn't wear as fast as the factory John Deere seed tab. This is our Needham Ag boot spring. It's 20% stronger than the factory one, and it keeps the boot held clean up against the disc, especially in no-till conditions. As wear really starts to accumulate on older drills, you will see that the pins, quadrant, and arm will start to wear. If these aren't replaced, it can result in variable seeding depth. This is our 2 3/4 by 16 inch urethane gauge wheel. It has 2 steel wheel halves and a urethane tire which lasts much longer than rubber. We are offering a 3-year warranty on the OD of the tire. It avoids more corn stalks to give you better terrain following of the ground. Next, we're going to talk about the firming wheel. The firming wheel is very important to push seeds down to the bottom of the seed slot. This is the factory 0.8 by 9 firming wheel, which has a bearing out. This is our Needham Ag V8 0.6 by 10 firming wheel, which is flexible, narrower to fit the contours of the seed slot, and it has a better, longer lasting 5203 bearing. Now we're going to talk about the closing system. First of all, you do not need any side-to-side play. You need to make sure your bolt is tight, and it may mean hammering out and replacing the 2 short and 1 long bushings. Here we have the standard cast wheel, but we like the 20-point wheel. It will bolt on with the hub the same way that the cast wheel does, and it closes the seed slot a lot better, especially in higher moisture soils. As acres start to accumulate on drills and air seeders, this pin and bushing starts to wear. It goes from the usual 7-degree angle to less than that and needs to be replaced. This is a very good example of a lot of wear in this area. This is our spring spacer. Sometimes additional down pressure is required in the wheel tracks. The spring spacer is installed by backing this nut off and fitting it in right here above the spring. It provides an additional 70 to 90 pounds of downforce in the wheel tracks.
This is the same 60 series opener that Benjamin showed you just a few minutes ago, and it needed a lot of tender loving care. So we've basically gone through this whole opener, replaced some or most of the wearing parts, and I'm going to spend just a few minutes here with you showing you what we've done to improve its performance. So starting at the front of the opener drawbar, this is called the drawbar, we replaced the main opener pivot pin and the bushings on either side of the pin. Here's the pin and bushings that came out of it. You can see there's a lot of wear. This opener comes out of the factory with a 7-degree angle to the direction of travel. As this pin and bushing assembly wears, then it progressively reduces that angle down to 6 or 5.5, maybe even 5 degrees, which causes the seed slot to become more acute, resulting in poor penetration and increased boot wear because the seed slot basically isn't wide enough for the seed boot to fit down into or the firming wheel to fit down into. Okay, so watch the wear in this area. Normally most people say when there's approximately 1/2 inch of total travel measured at the back of the disc, this pin and bushing needs to be replaced, but generally speaking I think somewhere around 3/8 is about the point I would recommend replacing the pin and bushings. We installed a new disc, as you can see. New discs are new at 18. We suggest replacing them at 17 unless the sharp edge begins to disappear, which can happen in rocky conditions. We also added the seed brake, as you can see. This seed brake is basically a perforated stainless steel housing with 2mm holes, and basically allows most of the air to vent through the housing, allowing seeds to fall down to the ground by gravity like the old box drills do. It seems like there's a lot of guys running a high fan volume, which is obviously required, especially if you put in high rates of seed and fertilizer in the row. It's pretty easy to blow seeds out of the seed slot. So the seed brake helps you contain more seeds in the seed slot by avoiding them being blown out. We've got the new seed boot with the Needham Ag bushing kit. On the previous video that Benjamin showed you, you could see there was almost 2 inches of total up-down travel of the seed boot. The Needham Ag bushing kit basically eliminates all of that up-down play while allowing the boot to pivot in and out, which is obviously really important because it maintains the same trajectory of seed flow down into the seed slot. We added the vanilla seed tab. These are new at just over 7 inches. Factory seed tabs approximately 5.5 inches. They're also tapered when viewed from below, and they're also almost twice as thick as the factory tab, which gives you much longer life and better seed pressing and containing of seeds in the seed slot. We added the V8 firming wheel, as Benjamin discussed just a few moments ago. Narrower, does a better job pressing the seeds down into the seed slot, in addition to a new firming wheel spring, closing wheel spring, as you can see. We also added a new bushing, a new pin and bushings on either side of the closing wheel arm assembly. It's really important that the closing wheel runs in consistent proximity to the seed row to ensure maximum closing. So if this whole assembly measured at this pivot point or this bearing, if this whole assembly goes side to side more than about 3/4 of an inch of total travel, you need to replace the center pin and bushings on either side to get maximum closing action. We prefer the 20-point crumbler wheel, 1/2 inch thick to keep it on top of loose soils, 20 rounded teeth around the periphery of the wheel to close the seed slot a lot better, especially in higher moisture, residue covered, no-till soil. So it does a much better job closing the seed slot than the standard cast wheel. So that's a quick run through of the modifications or the improvements we've made to this opener to maximize its performance in the field. Thanks for watching.